境不仅仅代表了目的地本身，还包括了旅途上的一景一物、点点滴滴。
一起走进古城，一探世界新7大奇迹之一。骑着驴上山，
在这里跟野生动物一起同游，看大象。
这里的人用动感与如诗如画的绝美风景互动，
跟着当地人的欢呼，领略这里的足球精神。
这里是杀人湖，也是捕鱼的好去处。
跟着我们的步伐，
一起走一趟
极境之旅。
可以看得出我现在有点憔悴，因为其实呢，我现在身在曼谷的机场，我们从新加坡搭3个小时来到这边，转机去哪里呢？我们要去埃塞俄比亚的首都亚的斯亚贝巴。因为疫情到现在，我第一次出国，我第一次要离开我的老婆跟小孩1个月，会担心会不会水土不服，跟会不会危险啊？对，因为那边是一个我们很少去的地方，我希望我这次去可以让我对非洲呢改观。
极境之旅主持人黄靖伦这次要出发前往的地点，正是位于非洲之角的内陆国埃塞俄比亚。埃塞俄比亚境内以山地高原为主，占全境的2/3，平均海拔将近3000米。拥有3000年的文明历史，埃塞俄比亚是世界上最古老的国家之一，也是非洲大陆中唯一一个从未被殖民过的国家。阿拉比卡咖啡、尼罗河，
哇，好壮观啊！你看，
甚至是人类，追根溯源都与埃塞俄比亚息息相关，称其为起源之地一点也不为过。位于海拔2400米的高原之上，埃塞俄比亚首都亚的斯亚贝巴是非洲最高的城市，也是埃塞俄比亚最大的城市。在阿姆哈拉语中，亚的斯亚贝巴有新鲜的花朵的寓意。
搭了10几个小时的飞机，终于到了埃塞俄比亚，这里是他们的首都亚的斯亚贝巴。听说埃塞俄比亚这个地方呢，平均海拔3000米，难怪我感觉我现在有一点喘，有点累。想要知道更多有关埃塞俄比亚的事迹的话，不要担心，其实我有请了一个导游在这边帮我讲解。Shoes, yes.
Welcome, welcome.
What is this for?
Oh, this is just for peace,
Okay.
love, unity.
It's your way of greeting. Oh,
yeah,
nice to meet you.
nice to meet you. I'm really very passionate about my guide. The most important thing that I like from guiding is to show the beauty of my country. The perception of people about Ethiopia is different. But always when they came in here, definitely, the service, the things that they're going to see will excel or exceed what they do perceive. So my message is come and discover Ethiopia by your own, instead of really, just looking for the various news about Ethiopia.
So, where are we now?
At the Grand National Palace of Ethiopia and others. So this is a Unity Park.
Yeah, so shall we take a tour? Okay.
1889年，绍阿国王孟尼利克2世称帝，统一全国，在亚的斯亚贝巴建立首都。 在此之前，不同时代的王朝都会不断地更换首都地点。当亚的斯亚贝巴首都成立以来，它一直都是埃塞俄比亚的首都。坐落于新近装修的公园 Unity Park， 埃塞俄比亚大皇宫见证了从孟尼利克2世以来2世纪所有执政的领袖。他也是现今埃塞俄比亚总统的官邸。
Wow, this place looks beautiful.
Oh yeah, now we are actually at the Grand National Palace of Ethiopia. It's really a very important place. Most African countries were under colonial rule, so they don't have this type of palace by then. We are really very lucky to get access to this palace because it used to be closed to any visitor.
Wow, so why they changed their mind?
I think the current PM wanted the people to get access to the area so that the people feel that it's their own palace, to have like a sense of belongingness.
我们现在来到这里最重要的地方，就是这个宫廷啊。如果要进去宫廷的话，必须要有这个公园里的导游才可以进去。于是呢，我的导游又请了另外一个导游。好 ，Salam，
Good to see you. How are you? Here you go. Good to see you here.
Expecting you for a long time.
Right?
Let's
It's
go
nice to
in.
have you finally. My name's Yasu. It's good to hear from you.
Wow, this palace looks majestic.
It's a beautiful room.
So, what is the name for this place?
This one we call it, it's the main throne room of the throne house. Yeah. it's the
Throne room.
Throne room.
Wow, who is this?
He's Emperor Selassie, the last emperor of Ethiopia.
埃塞俄比亚帝国末代皇帝海尔塞拉西一世执权时，禁止奴隶制度，推行教育、经济等多项改革，让埃塞俄比亚走向现代化。
And he is the one who established Africa Union, the current Africa Union. That time we called it Organization of Africa Union. We even call him the father of Africa.
虽然被许多人认为是埃塞俄比亚现代史上最重要的人物，海尔塞拉西一世也因为独裁统治而备受争议。50年代后，他所推行的政策导致国家经济发展滞后，让社会陷入混乱。在海尔塞拉西一世退位之后，埃塞俄比亚仍长期饱受内乱和饥荒的蹂躏。1983年至1985年的饥荒是埃塞俄比亚在20世纪中最严重的一次，预计多达100万人死亡。1984年，爱尔兰歌手鲍勃·吉尔多夫见闻后，希望为难民募款，写了一首《Do They Know It's Christmas》。隔年，他举办了 Live Aid 世界演唱会，筹募了将近150万美元，用于饥荒救济。40年后，今天的埃塞俄比亚仍然是世界上最贫苦的国家之一。但近年来，经过各项政策调整后，它也成为非洲地区中经济发展最快的国家。
因为以前皇宫是不开放的，但是我们的导游阿叔说，他们现在开放给当地人了。原因就是觉得这个皇宫是属于国人的，让国人有一种归属感。在里面呢，也可以看到很多有关当时皇朝的一些历史、一些遗物啦、事迹，全部都看得到。很滑，寸步难移。哦，裤子都脏了啦，我还要过河哎。我以为走完了，又有一道桥。
更刺激的埃塞俄比亚之旅还在后头。如此艰难的路途是要前往哪里呢？
哇，我们终于走到了！
We are very lucky
Oh.
to get access to this palace because it used to be closed to any visitor.
在首都亚的斯亚贝巴参观了象征权力的埃塞俄比亚大皇宫后，下一站静伦会去哪里呢？作为埃塞俄比亚的首都，亚的斯亚贝巴是国家重点发展的城市。在增加对国内城市和非洲、欧洲、亚洲国家等多个区域的航班之后，亚的斯亚贝巴成为了地区交通枢纽，是世界通往非洲的大门。对于当地人来说，这也给予了他们便利，把原本近10个小时的颠簸车程缩短至1小时。才刚抵达埃塞俄比亚的静伦，再次乘搭飞机前往南部地区，继续探索这个起源之地。
来到巴赫达尔其实也不简单，我们必须要在首都转机，到机场之后还要搭将近2个小时的车，才到达那个青尼罗河瀑布的，算是它的门口吧。 据说，这个尼罗河的起源地之一也在这里，青尼罗河。等等，我们就要前往那个青尼罗河的一个瀑布，听说非常非常的漂亮。但是你看我今天的装扮就知道，我已经做好准备了。今天的路况不是很好，下雨都是泥泞，然后我已经穿好了靴子啊。我现在不管有什么暴风大雨啦，都没有办法阻止我前进。Let's go。
巴赫达尔是埃塞俄比亚西北部阿姆哈拉州的首府城市。由于毗邻青尼罗河和塔纳湖，巴赫达尔也成为了埃塞俄比亚最受欢迎的旅游城市之一。
这个泥泞路真的很恐怖。我们的收音师凯翔穿拖鞋就 OK， 但没有想到这个泥啊。 不是只有脏而已，它很滑，它一直差点滑倒，又滑又湿，有很多积水，就让我觉得越漂亮的东西好像就越难看得见。
青尼罗河是世界上最长的河川尼罗河的主要支流之一。 青尼罗河瀑布距离 Tis Abay 村落有5公里的路程，可以选择全程步行山路2个半小时，或者乘搭小船过河。由于考虑到雨季突变的天气状况和器材，摄制组决定超捷径。
很滑 ，very slippery。Thank you。我现在要上船看瀑布。 他说瀑布在那边，然后我们走这里，奇怪。
不过超捷径也只是过河而已，上了岸，静伦还得继续步行才能抵达青尼罗河瀑布。
走的都石头路，还不知道要走多久才会到那个青尼罗河的瀑布，真的不好走。但是让我回到好像那种当兵的时候，哇！你看我还没有7老80，就已经需要有人搀扶我了。这边真的很滑，这个人造的木桥好像，因为很多泥巴，真的很滑。哇天哪！我以为走完了，又有一道桥，一样的桥，而且超滑。哎呦哎呦，很厉害哦！ 穿拖鞋比我穿靴子还要稳哦。雨开始变大了，我们刚刚应该走了快10几分钟，明明可以很快，但是因为这路太滑，而且很多石头路，很多泥泞，寸步难移，哇，裤子都脏了啦，我还要过河哎，一定要踩在石头上面，哇，好像就在前面，我听到那水打在地面上的巨响。哇，我们终于走到了，好壮观哦！你看，哇，那青尼罗河那个瀑布，好像那阿拉比卡咖啡，哇，潺潺的流下来，天哪！
壮观的青尼罗河瀑布从42米的高处急泻而下，溅起的水花形成水雾，从远处望去，看似一缕青烟。因此，当地人也称青尼罗河瀑布为 Tis Abai， 在阿姆哈拉语中，意思是冒烟的水。
Wow, so we finally reached the falls.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
This is really not the Blue Nile Fall.
Yeah.
As you can see, it's now at its maximum. During the rainy season, like June, July, August through September, it's really getting bigger and bigger in terms of volume.
7月到9月是这个看瀑布的最佳时机，因为那个时候那个河流是最急的，所以你才可以看到如此壮观的一个瀑布这样子。我觉得最难得的是我有机会就下到最靠近瀑布的那个地方，那个瀑布那个水打下去啊，其实一下就整个人就湿掉。那个瀑布声感觉好像我来到一个世外桃源。接近这里。
长途跋涉，亲眼目睹了壮观的青尼罗河瀑布后，巴赫达尔还有一个最不能错过的景点——塔纳湖。
这边真的很惬意，我现在飘在那个水中央，对，这边很安静。如果不说的话，你根本就不知道这里是埃塞俄比亚的最大的湖。
位于海拔1800米，面积达35平方公里。塔纳湖是非洲大陆第3大和海拔最高的湖泊。在阿姆哈拉语中，塔纳有着永不枯竭的蓄水之意。作为青尼罗河的源头，塔纳湖每年提供的水量多达38亿立方米。
So how important is the lake for the people over here?
Immense, because you see, this is actually a lake that provides them fresh water. This is a lake that they fish.
这很惬意，我已经决定我可能会来这边养老。Yeah, I do see a lot of different species of birds over here.
Yeah, there are so many aquatic birds because you can see, there are reeds, trees, and so forth. So they have got enough thing to eat.
The rich habitat.
Yeah. For your information, Lake Tana was registered as a World Biosphere Reserve because of the diversity of faunas and flora. So it's really is very important in terms of conserving the world faunas and floras.
在塔纳湖的时候，我瞬间觉得很像小欧洲，对，而且那个云层非常的低，然后那阳光打下来非常的漂亮。Are you sure? He pour inside. Really? 但很可惜，没有看到河马。我觉得那个环境是很舒服，让我是大开眼界。我没有想到非洲会有这样子的一个地方。
在巴赫达尔跋山涉水后，近轮的埃塞俄比亚西北部之旅还没结束。
这次来的目的呢，就是因为这边有世界文化遗产。寸步难移，还要过河哎。
来到了埃塞俄比亚西北部，进轮的第一站是拥有青尼罗河的起源地美誉的巴赫达尔。
好壮观啊！你看，好像那阿拉比卡咖啡，哇，潺潺的流下来，天哪！
正处于雨季的埃塞俄比亚再次下起绵绵细雨，但风雨无阻，旅途继续，前往阿姆哈拉州的一座历史文化古城。
离开了巴赫达尔，我们下一个要去的地方是距离有196公里之外的贡德尔。那途中我们经过一个很有趣的村落，听说呢，这里堪称是埃塞俄比亚的乌托邦。Salam, salam, salam. The founder of this village.
Yeah, the founder.
Yeah. So can you show me around?
Aura Amba 是一个位于巴赫达尔73公里外的村庄，约有500人居住于此。Zumra Nuru 于1980年成立 Aura Amba， 目标是建立一个以平等和公正作为原则的社区。Aura Amba 刚建立时，由于思想理念的不同，原本是农民的他们被排斥在外，没了耕地，他们无法维持农业。因此，朝编织制造发展。
So, what are the difficulties or challenge that the founders have faced while creating this village?
ዋነኛው ሀሳቤን የሚረዳኝ ማጣት ነው። ከወላጆች፣ ከጎረቤት፣ ከማህበረሰብ ሀሳቤን የሚረዳኝ አጥቻለሁ። በ13 ዓመት ወጥቼ አገር ለአገር እየዞርኩ ጎጃም፣ ወሎ፣ ጎንደር እያልኩ ለ5 ዓመታት ወደ ወላጆች ሳልመለስ ቀን ሰዎቹ ጋር በመዋል ሌት ዛፍ ስር በማደር ክረምት አለ በጋ አለ ያን ሁላ ተቋቁሜ ዛፍ ስር በማደር ነው 4-5 ዓመትን ያሳለፍኩ። ከ5 ዓመት በኋላ እንደገና ወደ እነዚህ አገር ለአገር እየዞርኩ ጀመርኩ። ጥቂት ጊዜ በኋላ እነሱን አገኘሁ። በኋላ ከእነሱ ጋር ሆነ ጨዋታ።
我觉得这奥拉安巴村落特别的地方在于那个创办人的理念吧。像埃塞俄比亚，我个人觉得思想会比较传统跟保守的一个国家，你要去说服那些人你的看法跟你的思想是很难的。其实他是一个很有远见的人。听说他就是4岁的时候就有这种想法，我觉得4岁的时候我还在干嘛
Most visitors in different places come here to visit the community, so I serve the community by guiding the tourists. The community live peacefully here, love each other. We believe all human beings are the same. I wanted to share, to know everybody's our brother and sister and creating peaceful world.
和 Aura Amba 村庄的短暂邂逅后，静伦继续上路前往贡德尔。
我现在来到了贡德尔地区，这里呢以前是国王的首都之一，那也曾经经历过一些欧洲国家的短暂占领。那我这次来的目的呢，就是因为这边有世界文化遗产法希尔盖比城堡。
贡德尔是埃塞俄比亚的第3大城市。17世纪，当时的埃塞俄比亚皇帝法西利达斯将国都迁至贡德尔，直到1868年，这里一直是埃塞俄比亚的首都。而法希尔盖比城堡就是法西利达斯及其继任皇帝们的宅邸，后遭战争破坏，是埃塞俄比亚重要的文化遗产，于1979年被列入 UNESCO 世界遗产目录。
Just behind us is the very first castle built by King Fasilides. Because of its magnificent appearance, some people call this castle as the Camelot of Africa because you don't find such castles in Africa in the 17th century,
Yeah, so shall we go in?
Oh, yes.
Wow, this is a very big space over here.
Yeah.
So what is the purpose of this space?
Because this is a dining hall. The men and the women, they do sit separated, in this area. So because of this area serves as a dining hall.
This is for the guys.
Yeah, for the ladies, the guys, but there is a fire space, there is a chimney, and even locally some people call it like a dating window because they see each other through that.
I thought it's for pets.
No, this is very special. Look, they sit there and look each other like this.
虽然从未成为欧洲殖民地，埃塞俄比亚却曾经被短暂地占领过，而法希尔盖比城堡的一些楼宅就被意大利军队使用，重新内外装修了一下，把原有的石砖外墙改为水泥外墙，再涂上了一层意大利人所青睐的黄色。其中，意大利军队把达维特三世的宴会厅设为军械库，利用泥泞土代替先前的木质天花板和地板。
So this is an armory house for the Italians.
Absolutely.
That explains the war. See so many bullet marks there. Bang, 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 bang.
It was said to have got these gold motifs, ivory, and precious stones. But sadly, part of it was collapsed because of British bombardment around 1945.
World War II.
Yeah, to evacuate the Italians who were here, in that time.
So it's only part of it now.
Yeah, you can just see only part of it, absolutely.
其实蛮可惜的，导游说他以前是多么的风光，多么的华丽，但是如今我看到的是很多地方有点改建，或者有些地方因为以前的一些战争受到了破坏。我个人觉得它的外观虽然就是看起来比较雄伟华丽，但是它的内部比较简单一点点。但是经过那个导游的解说之后，其实我去到每一个空间、每一个房间，我都是有一个画面的，就会想说，哎，它从前是怎样子的。我现在来到这间教堂呢，叫做 Debre Berhan Selassie 教堂。来到这边一定要入乡随俗。据说呢，男生只可以从这个西门进去，然后女人呢就要从南门进去。好，那至于北门跟东门有什么用途呢？等一下我再问他。OK，let's go。
除了法希尔盖比城堡，贡德尔城内的古建筑也一并列入世界遗产目录。贡德尔一共有44座教堂，其中有法西利达斯国王的孙子于17世纪修建的德布雷贝尔汉塞拉西教堂最为特别。
Salam. What is so special about this church from other churches?
The internal part of this church, as you can see, it is highly adorned with paintings painted on canvas and attached to the wall or glued onto the wall.
Okay.
And these are all original paintings. They do depict biblical scenes about the life of Saint Mary, Jesus.
在众多壁画中，最特别的是覆盖了整张天花板的135个小天使，从上方照看着前来教堂的俗人，象征了上帝是无所不在的。
You can see the Afro hairs the big eyes. And because of this, even they are referred as the second Gondarin style of painting. The saints were depicted with 2 eyes or bigger eyes, but sinners were depicted with a blind eye or profile. So if you go to this painting, this was the Last Supper. You can you try? From Judah, the one who betrayed Jesus. If you count like Jesus in the center, just go to the right-hand side. 1, 2, the third one, you see?
The one with only half the face.
That's the point. So this is how really, the church passed its teaching, just to the people. So anyone can easily understand the teaching of the church, whether they read or not.
Where do I start to read the pictures?
Okay, interestingly,
where is the start?
Yeah, basically, since that the main gate, the west is the main gate, when you come in through there, you always face the eastern wall or the eastern gate, because that's what you directly, come to your vision or to your spot as you are just entering. So you see this. For women, when they came in this way, usually they do see the northern gate wall. So for women, it was the northern wall. This side, where you can have mostly about the life history of Saint Mary.
贡德尔，我觉得这个地方是一个很有一个传统、很有一个历史的地方，所以才会有很多那个世界文化遗产。而且我觉得很难得的是，有很多都是还正在使用当中，它并不是可能受到保护，就是闲人免进这样子，或者是只能供游客进来，还是有它的用途在。What do you call this again? This is
Sistrum.
Sistrum.
Yeah, sistrum.
来到了仍开放给公众使用的世界遗产，当然少不了一番文化交流。
You can play actually the drum like someone will sing or chant for you. You can say, yeah, the priest can show you more of that really. So this is really very special in the church. Had it be like service, we can play it really. Just keep it with your right hand. Just keep this with your left hand.
It must be used.
So you can just move slowly. Slowly. Yeah, good learner. Yeah, you are very good learner. This is the taste of a man.
告别了富有历史文化和自然景色的西北部，竞轮再次回到首都亚的斯亚贝巴，开启下一段旅程。
耶！有一点 bossa nova 的感觉。This is a very big space over here.
走了一趟埃塞俄比亚西北部的世界文化遗产贡德尔地区的城堡及古建筑，竞轮回到了首都亚的斯亚贝巴。
So Asus, what is this place?
Oh, this is Chola Market.
Okay.
It's one of the biggest and busiest market in Addis. And
距离首都机场只有20分钟路程的说拉市场，是亚的斯亚贝巴的传统跳蚤市场。
哦，蛮热闹一个市场。
沿路一排又一排的篮子、炊具、香料等物品，只要你有想买的东西，这里就能找得到。
看你卖咖啡壶啦，然后这边还有卖床单的、卖童装的，应有尽有，什么都有卖，林林总总，难怪这里这么热闹。What is this for? The hat or something?
No, bread basket.
What's the name of this basket?
Masob, we call it masob.
Masob， 这个很特殊的篮子。
Masob.
Masob。对 ，masob 就是这边的篮子，放他们那个叫英杰拉饼的东西，或者是面包。Oh, what are all this?
Stove just for charcoal and like that. They basically use that one.
Any special stuff that I need to get as a tourist?
I advise you just to get actually the local Ethiopian spices, especially the chili sauce, which you call it berbere, or you can buy shiro, so that you can make your own stew.
Okay, then bring me there now.
Let's go.
Berbere.
Yeah, berbere. Yeah.
那现在我们现在经过前面卖香料的地方，这真的是很传统的传统市场，比较暗一点点，因为现在时间接近傍晚了。哇！看这满满的香料，
香料对于埃塞俄比亚人来说是当地美食中的灵魂，尤其是博博尔香料，它是一种综合香料的统称，融合将近10种香料磨成粉末而成。在埃塞俄比亚，每个家庭都有自制的博博尔香料，可以说是埃塞俄比亚风味的代表。
Can I eat this? Is this very spicy?
Yeah, you can check.
Okay.
Test a bit. Don't take too much. But
Very spicy.
yeah,
Spicy.
It's not too much.
Okay.
But it's hot, really.
哇，第一次要
This is the taste of a man. So yeah. One more.
It's not bad. It's just like chili powder.
Yeah.
Addicted. Taste
Good.
of am I a
So-
man now? Because I ate
Absolutely.
3 fingers.
Yeah.
Thank you. How to say thank you?
Amasagnalo.
Ame
Amasagnalo.
Segilan. You are very pretty.
Batam konjo.
Batam
Konjo.
Konjo. Batam Konjo. Yeah, good. Wow, bought a lot of things. 哇，哎，糟糕啊！逛一逛，整个天都已经黑了。不过还好，我满载而归。你看，买了很多这个波波尔粉，那些香料。哇，新加坡可能买不到这么原汁原味、这么道地的香料啊，真的是很开心。Thanks, Ashu. Thank you.
Now just we have together, huh?
I get you a drink, okay? Yeah.
Perfect. Let's go.
My treat, my treat. 叮叮叮叮叮！哇，我现在特别的开心。你看我这身装扮就知道，我是来这边享受的。享受什么呢？等一下我就要进去见一个埃塞俄比亚的传奇人物，他就是埃塞俄比亚爵士的教父，同时也是创始人。哇，听说一票难求，我现在就要进去了。耶！有一点波萨诺瓦的感觉，哇，真的很想要上去唱。不知道等一下会不会听到熟悉的曲子。
埃塞俄比亚最伟大的创新之一，埃塞俄比亚爵士乐是由埃塞俄比亚传统音乐与爵士乐、灵魂乐和拉丁音乐融合而成的。
Nice to meet you, Dr.
Same here.
Mulato
Nice to meet you.
STK. Yes, yes, yes.
现年79岁的埃塞俄比亚爵士乐教父穆拉图阿斯塔克，从高中时期就开始接触音乐，在英国和美国进修的时候迷上了爵士乐，但他也希望向更多人展示埃塞俄比亚独有的音乐和文化，因此有了结合2种音乐的想法。
What is making Ethio jazz interesting? You know, we have a very interesting mode, which we call Anchoye, Digital, Ambassel, and Baji. Everywhere you go in Ethiopia, what you hear is these 4 modes. So Ethio jazz, what I did was I put the 4 modes in the bottom of everything, and I built the world on top of that.
So how do you feel like when you know that your music has actually reached all over the world?
I actually be so happy to see all these people in the world enjoy Ethiopian jazz because I see Ethiopian contribution to the world culturally in music.
跟 Dr. Mulatu 交谈的时候，我可以深深感觉到他对埃塞俄比亚传统音乐的热爱、自豪。我觉得音乐就是一个可以跨国界、跨种族的一个沟通的桥梁。虽然我们在不同的国家，我虽然唱的是中文流行歌，但是听到了埃塞俄比亚的爵士会，心中还是有一股澎湃在。
哇！被誉为13世纪的新耶路撒冷，这座900年的岩石别有洞天。
You see how they did the carvings?
Wow, it's quite amazing that the colors didn't fade away.
900 years.
哦，材料还是活的。
终于有机会品尝埃塞俄比亚的国菜，在吃之前当然得自己动手。
哦，全部流出来，糟糕了。
茶有茶道，那咖啡呢？在这里喝咖啡是很讲究的。
Can I help？ 哇，这个很重哎，这个蛮不简单的，这我没有戴手套，手会长茧。